Cool. Where the water comes in, we have an automated fine screen. We also have manually cleaned bar screen for in case the fine screen goes down. There's not much to it. This can handle about 5 million gallons a day. So our dry weather flow is about 750,000 gallons. Our wet weather flow is around average is about 2 million, but we have peak flows up to 6.5 million gallons. So this one, our headwater actually doesn't smell nearly as bad as most of the filters. But most of the time we don't have to do anything down here other than clean it like once a week. So ultrasonic transducer just measures the level of the partial fluid. And the totalizer is in this cabinet here. This is actually the screw out of that screw compactor down there. You can see the end of the shaft busted off. So me and another guy put that in about, I don't know, a couple months ago. We replaced that. So ordering the part took 6 weeks. Putting it in took a day. The manual bar rack. Every day down here figuring it out. So we run fine screen and hand. So it runs 24 hours a day. Okay. Because it works better in the winter time with the higher flows.
Higher flows, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. How often do you dump this guy?
The dumpster?
The dumpster, yeah.
It's once a week, but we usually don't fill it in a week.
Okay.
This is an aeration basin. Basically the idea is this lowers the VOD of what's going into the ponds. It just helps us meet our permit limit for BOD. Got 6 mechanical aerators. A lot of what they do is just mix the water all up, keep it agitated good, and add a little bit of oxygen to it.
How big is it?
It's 200 by 50. I think it's like 2 acre-feet of water. So 650,000 gallons, something like that. It's 12 feet to the top, and then it's supposed to be 10 feet of water. A lot of the time we run it about 8 feet deep.
Switch the beans then from going off and let it drain down?
No, what we have to do is the solids build up. You know, there's about 7 feet of solids in the first 4 acres of number 1 lagoon.
Yeah.
And so what we'll do is we'll dredge, and we'll have a pipe going down near the bottom, and we'll suck off the bottom.
Dredge it out, okay.
And then, you know, once your sledge blanket gets less than about 2 feet deep, then you're going to be sucking a lot of green stuff off the top, so you got to stop and wait a few more years.
Okay.
So that's one thing, one capital improvement project that we'll probably be doing in the next 5 years. We're going to add 2 facultative sledge lagoons to the front, on the front 10 acres out there, so that we can have the influent water coming out of the aeration basin go into one or the other, and then we'll let one sit for about a year, and then all the bacteria will break down the solids enough that it will meet Class B criteria, and then we won't have to wait 10 years to remove solids.
Nice. Okay.
We'll be able to do it every year.
Okay.
So this is our transfer pump station. 3 submersible pumps, 224 horsepower pumps, and then one that's 50 horse. The 50 horse we just actually pulled out and took it in to be rebuilt. But this moves the water from the aeration basin up to the far lagoon. And then it goes gravity feed from Lagoon 1 to Lagoon 2, and then also gravity feed into the treatment plant. So this is our lab. We do our own BODs, TSS, ammonia, E. coli, total coliform. I think that's about it.
Do you have to send any of your tests out to anywhere, or you do it all here?
Well, priority pollutant scans are once a year. We send that to CH2M Hill. We also send out bioassays. That's where they take bugs and put them in your water and see if they die. So those get sent out to CH2M Hill. We also send out nitrate, nitrite, total Keldol, and phosphorus testing.
Oh, wow.
So how do you like your tablets? The chlorine tablets?
I don't know. They're all right.
Is it working though pretty good, or just?
It works. It's not as steady because the tablets sit in that tank and water goes through the bottom to make the chlorine solution. Well, the amount of tablets touching the water, is different at different times, and so you get a fluctuation in your chlorine residual. So they're easier to deal with. We had chlorine gas before. We switched to this. It's
A lot safer, I bet.
Yeah, it's a little bit safer and it's just a little nicer to deal with. But as far as having a steady set chlorine residual that's always the same, gas was way more steady. So this is the guts of dissolved air flotation. This is the water coming in from the pond here. Polymers added with an inline mixer. That goes out to the center. Water is recycled out of the weir of the DAF, back in through these pumps, into the pressure tank where air is added, and then they go out and meet in the eye of the DAF, and it all mixes together. So all the solids float up, rather than with the regular clarifier where everything settles.
What do you do with the solids?
They recycle to the aeration basin. This is the same thing, it's just newer. This setup is from 2006. The other one's from 1985. So it's a little newer, but it's exactly the same. Polymer and oxygen is added, so it floats the solids to the surface rather than settles in that. So this is after 2 lagoons. So basically what we're trying to remove here is just algae. Most of the suspended solids and everything settle out in the lagoon. So this is the old one. This is from 1985. The new one the new one's over there. That's from 2006. The new one can handle, to get this clarity of water, the new one can treat twice as many gallons as this one can. So they're both rated for 2 million gallons, but this one really will only handle about 1 million to get the water this clean. This is the same thing, it's just a newer system. This one, this is treating twice as much water. It doesn't really, you can't really tell, but you're getting the same quality of treatment when you're treating twice as much with this one.
Is it the same dimensions as the other one?
This one's a little bit bigger. I think this one is, the diameter I think is 4 feet. So 4 feet larger, so it's not that much bigger. Basically the DAFs and the filters help us meet Class A recycled water. That's pretty
That's why.
tight,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So 2.2 total coliforms and less than turbidity of 2 MPa.
Okay.
These are dual media filters. There's 1 foot of sand, 2 feet of anthracite in the bottom of these. They're rated to treat or design capacity of 1 million gallons each. So they'll, in reality, they handle about 3 million between all 4 of them. Automatically backwash every 4 hours. So this is our chlorine contact basin. In the corner there was the old outfall to Bear Creek. They concreted that in when we upgraded, and now we have a 5-mile discharge to the molalla River.
That was 5 miles. Okay.
5 miles,
So
yeah.
that's your out to where?
Molalla River.
And you dechlorinate with vitamin C, you heard?
Yeah, ascorbic acid, yeah. So, ascorbic acid it's better for fish, and also it dechlorinates pretty rapidly. So, where we dechlorinate only like maybe 200 feet from the river, you know, we need something that's going to work pretty fast.
Mm-hmm. What's the price compared to other things you may use for dechlorination? Other
It's more
chemicals?
expensive.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's,
But it's better for the environment.
That's right.
Yeah. It's better for the
Yeah.
environment. The outfall.
yeah.
Do you remember why? One of the main reasons?
Absorbic
So it's
acid.
more expensive, but what does it not do?
Doesn't form DDT.
No.
It doesn't. I didn't hear him though. Would you guess?
It's not an oxygen scavenger.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't lower.
Yeah, it doesn't lower the DO concentration. So if you can afford it, it's the best thing to do.
The effluent pump station, we have 2 300 horsepower effluent pumps that pump the water from here out to Coleman's Field for recycled water use, and out to the Molalla River where we discharge in the winter. These are the effluent pumps, 300 horsepower. We run one or the other. We don't run both of them. The discharge line for irrigation, we discharge about 120 psi. During the winter, we discharge about 65 psi. So this is ascorbic acid. That's what we use for dechlorination. This is the turbidity meter. This is not required for discharge to the river, but it is required for Class A recycled water.
For what?
For Class A recycled water.
This is the pump.
This is the chlorine analyzer.
Chlorine analyzer?
Yeah, we just calibrate it, or we check it once a day. We don't really calibrate it every day. Here, I'll show you the generator.
Oh wow. It's a big boy.
So, yeah, it's got to be big to run the 300 horsepower pump. So, it's 1100 horsepower. I think it's 750 kilowatts. So, cycles every Tuesday. Just turns on its own and runs.
Yeah.
Just so we know it will. This is the lagoon system, basically. 12-acre lagoon on the far side, 13-acre lagoon here. Basically holds about 110 million gallons. So anywhere from 50 to 150 day detention time, depending on the flow, time of year.
I don't know. Are they doing that this year? What's your detention time for this?
Well, it varies pretty significantly because the dry weather flow is 3/4 million. Peak winter flow can be up to 6.5 million. So our average winter flow is about 2 million, a little over 2 million.
Yeah.
So I mean, in the wintertime, our detention time's half what it is in the summertime, obviously. And if we're running the ponds at 7 feet, you know, at 7 feet, it's going to be much shorter detention time than at 12 feet, obviously. So we have quite a variation in flow. Running at 12 feet, I think we're about 110 million gallons between the two of them. So in the summertime, you know, our detention time can be as much as, you know, over 100 days. But in the wintertime, you know, it's half that.
Does that make a pretty significant impact on your TSS and BOD?
Not really. I mean, in the summertime, I don't know. I think the ponds can probably handle more than what the solids, as far as solids. We are close to our BOD and TSS limits. I mean, we're right there on the verge pretty much all the time, but at least in the winter, we don't do BODs. In the summer, we don't have to.
Really?
It's not required for recycled water use. Just turbidity and coliform testing. Thing under the tarp there is our dredge. So,
How big? 6 inch?
yeah, 6 inch, 40 horsepower, just a chopper pump. We'll see how well it works this summer.
Okay.
The lead operator, when I started, put that together. I probably would have put something a little different together,
Okay.
but that's what we have. We'll see how well it works
Do you,
this summer.
do you man it from the surface, or how do you?
Well, it's electric. We're going to put it in the water with a wire, kind of like the aerators. But we'll have it so we can.
Pulley it or something?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's only going to take. I mean, it's 750 gallons per minute. The truck's only 4,000 gallons, so we're going to hit it. Yep. Pull it a little bit and let the truck fill up. Yeah, and then shut it down. So we'll see how well it works this summer, and we'll probably go to something different in the near future, I think, but I don't know. Maybe it'll work great.
Right.
We're going to hire 2 summer hires this summer too.
Really?
Out here,
Okay.
so yeah.
Okay.
Any of the
I'll put it out
people
there
in the
for sure.
yeah.
Okay.
So I think
Contact you or?
yeah.
Okay.
So in the past it was like $10 an hour, but I think they're going to pay a little better this year.
Because you got a dredge.
Yeah, yeah, we're going to be
Yeah,
doing
the
more
scuba
stuff.
gear,
So,
get out there. All right.
yeah,
Worth 12 an hour.
What's your name?
John Patrick. So yeah, they said they could probably do up to close to 15, something like that. For
What do you see at this plant in 10 years? So you
well,
said there's facultative anaerobic.
yeah, we'll have 2
lagoons.
more small sludge lagoons out front.
Okay.
We'll have our dump site for the Vector truck. We'll probably at least add diffused air system for the aeration basin. We'll probably have aerators on Lagoon 1. We're going to upgrade to a 30-inch trunk on the collection system, and partly that's because it's a capital improvement, so we can use capital improvement funds to fix the collection system.
Nice. Okay. Is it
but-
failing?
Well, it's old concrete pipe, and
Okay.
so, like I was saying down there, dry weather flows 3/4 million. Our peak winter flows are like 6.5 million. You know, our average is about 2 million, but the peak flows get up to 6 million. So that's way too much, and that's part of the drive behind getting the new truck is clean out the lines, camera them, see what we need to do to make some repairs. They budgeted $75,000 for I&I repairs this year. It'll probably be $75,000 or more every year
Okay.
from now on until we get the collection system under control.
Who does your camera work?
I'm not sure. They're not going to buy a truck or a van right away,
Right.
but I'm not sure who did it last year. They did a little bit. We'll probably in the near future, I would expect, because it's so expensive to pay an outside company to do it. They'll probably get their own van here
Okay. Nice.
within 5 years or so. So
These guys were at West this morning. Right? You guys saw their camera operation, their TV truck. I mean, it's a full-time job, basically.
yeah, yeah, it's going to be. I don't know. They'll probably add a couple more guys to the collections crew in the next year or two, because that's a full-time job cleaning the lines, you know, jetting lines and cleaning out the lift stations. So that's going to maybe leave them a little short-handed on that crew. So we'll probably be back to a staff of 3 here in probably the next 3 or 4 years. We'll probably go back to a staff of 3 here, full-time, and 2 summer hires.
Yep. Nice. Is molalla growing? Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, so I think when they did the upgrade, the population, I think that might have been right before Big Meadows, or maybe it was right after Big Meadows, but the population from the engineer drawings and stuff was like 4,000. Now it's 8,000. They estimated they just built a huge apartment complex across town, and they're looking at some more housing developments. So it's growing maybe faster than the utilities are keeping up. So